All right, everybody, welcome back to Jayfabe Wrestling. Still in the Survivor Series season, although Survivor Series 2024 happened. Quick thoughts on the show. I thought it was a really good show. I thought the singles matches for the titles and also the triple threat matches really went well. And the War Games matches, the women, I thought it could have been better, but there's definitely some cool moments with Io and Rhea Ripley getting her revenge there. And the main event was great storytelling with Punk and Roman first not getting along and then eventually getting along, and then all of them giving Solo, their finishers at the end. I thought it was a great finish. And yeah, some people were expecting maybe The Rock to come out or Brock. It didn't happen, but I think it's, WWE has a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania Royal Rumble season. So yeah. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Survivor Series 2017. Took place on November 19, 2017 in Houston, Texas. Attendance around 14,448. And yeah, this was still in the middle of the Raw versus SmackDown. This was the second year that they had it. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty hot build here. They had the Under Siege where SmackDown invaded Raw, so that was pretty cool. And the main event had a lot of star power, but I think, it just wasn't booked right. They didn't really give them a lot of time, and some of the young stars like Nakamura and Bobby Roode, they got eliminated fast and they were kind of overshadowed. And then the finals is like Kurt, Triple H, Shane. Not really what you want to see. I think you want more younger talent in there. So yeah, but let's get into the card here. There's 3 matches on the pre-show. So we got Elias defeating Matt Hardy, Enzo Amore defeating Kalisto to retain his Cruiserweight Championship, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating Breezango, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze. All right, on to the main card now. We got The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins defeating The New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods in a 6-man tag match. Then we got the Women's Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw, Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Asuka, and Nia Jax defeating Team SmackDown, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Natalya, and Tamina. Then we got the champion versus champion mid-card match, Baron Corbin defeating The Miz. Then we got the champion versus champion tag team match, the Usos defeating Cesaro and Sheamus. Then we got Charlotte Flair defeating Alexa Bliss. In the final champion versus champion match, we got Brock Lesnar defeating AJ Styles. In the main event, we got Team Raw, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H defeating Team SmackDown, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good card. I mean, they had some really good matches here. The Shield versus the New Day was a great match. I'm going to keep that on the card. Brock versus AJ, again, great match. Definitely got to keep that. But some of these other matches, I feel could have been booked differently. Especially the mid-card match, heel versus heel. I didn't really understand that. And then Charlotte and Alexa, it was a good matchup, but I have something a little bit different here. And I just feel like a lot of people could have also been on the card, like Kevin and Sammy, Matt Hardy. Even Elias, he was pretty over then. So, maybe I added another match here just to get more people on the card. So, yeah, let's get into what I have right now. So, the first match, we have Team Raw, Matt Hardy, The Bar, Apollo Crews, and Elias versus Team SmackDown, Bobby Roode, the Usos, Baron Corbin, and Ty Dillinger. Like I said, there's a lot of people on the card here that definitely should have been on the card. Obviously, I got rid of The Bar and the Usos. I just put them in this match just because I wanted to have, again, an odd amount of numbers so, like, the score could actually matter. And, and I think, this match could be just as good. You got a lot of talent here. I think it's important to actually give Bobby Roode his own shine. I know he was in the main event, which was a big spot, but he obviously, wasn't going to be booked over or going over all those talent there. So I think having Bobby Roode in the match and him being the focal point is very big. And him and Ty Dillinger, they could talk about their history as well. And yeah, you could even have the Usos trying to be peacemakers between Ty and Bobby Roode, saying, I know we ain't family, we ain't the Usos, but we gotta coexist. And then you can have Baron Corbin talking about, he's a lone wolf, and that, he doesn't care about anyone Team SmackDown, but he knows that he's the man and he's gonna dominate. So yeah, you got a lot of things going on for Team SmackDown. And then Team Raw, obviously the Bar and Matt Hardy, they have history there. The Bar could talk about, we beat the Hardy so bad Jeff is gone, and Matt can kind of be slowly, turning into broken Matt Hardy. And then you could even have Elias and Matt Hardy have some fun things going on where Elias is making music and Matt's, he's just like going crazy. And then you have Apollo Crews here saying, he wants to show that he's the best athlete on both Raw and SmackDown. And I think, you got a lot of talent here. And I would have the final two be Bobby Roode and Matt Hardy. And I would have Bobby Roode get the clean win there. And then Matt Hardy could slowly, again, start becoming more and more broken there. And this gives Bobby Roode the shine here. He's the sole survivor. And I would have had him debut as a heel. I don't know why, on SmackDown he became a face. I would have him a heel here. And if you just want to talk about my booking down the road, I would have him eventually win the U.S. title going into WrestleMania. So yeah, that's the first match. All right, the second match, we got the Battle of the Mid-Card Champions. The Miz representing Raw versus Shinsuke Nakamura representing SmackDown. So I know Baron Corbin was the United States champion at the time, but I would definitely change that. So Kevin Owens brings the U.S. title over from Raw. And I would actually have Shinsuke be the one to defeat Kevin Owens. And yeah, I think Shinsuke deserved the mid-card title run, especially because, he was going to headline WrestleMania. And I think that's what WWE's been forgetting the last few years is that, to really build someone up, you can't just have them, become main eventers. You got to slowly build them up. And I felt like that's what, kind of hurt Nakamura is they put him in a title match against Jinder when, first off, they had no plans of giving him the belt. And second off, I think it would have been better if they builded him up organically. And, we can also play off that when Nakamura got drafted to SmackDown, he did interrupt The Miz. But obviously that didn't lead to anything because The Miz got drafted to Raw. So, yeah, they can kind of mention that as well. And the build would be, The Miz talking about, he's going to beat all the indie darlings, He's already better than Daniel Bryan because, he doesn't get injured. And now he's going to take out the popular Nakamura. He says he doesn't care about Japan. The Miz is a legend. Nakamura could, do some promos about, he wants to humble The Miz. And he's going to show that, SmackDown and the King of Strong Style, whoever Nakamura is the best show. So, yeah. And you can have some fun here with, Nakamura and the Miztourage in the build. Miztourage could try to, invade SmackDown. Nakamura could, clean house on them. So, got some fun build here. And I think this would be a really good match. Actually, The Miz is really working well around this time. He had great matches as the IC champion, even in the next year against, like, Seth Rollins. So, yeah, I think this would be a good match, but I would actually just give Nakamura the clean win here. I give them like 10 to 15 minutes. Nakamura can hit the Kinshasa 1, 2, 3. And now SmackDown is up 2-0. All right. Next up, we got the Battle of the Tag Team Champions, The Shield versus The New Day. So, yeah. Obviously, this match did happen. And definitely keeping the match the same here. I would have The Shield go over. But yeah, I would do a few things differently here. At TLC, I wouldn't have built The Shield into a match because obviously Roman, he didn't get to participate. And also I felt like they should have saved the reunion for Survivor Series. I think it would have been a bigger moment. They didn't technically, I know fight together at TLC, but they were building it as that. So I think the build for Survivor Series would be better if we had the Shield reunion here. And yeah, I would still have the Shield as tag team champions. I wouldn't have them lose it to the Bar. And I would have the New Day defeat the Usos in the Hell in a Cell. So the Usos and the New Day had a great match at Hell in a Cell, but I would have the New Day win that match. And yeah, they could just, straight up talk about promos because they know this match is going to happen, champion versus champion. But Dean and Seth says, you know what? We know that the New Day, you guys got 3 members, and all 3 of you guys are the tag team champions. And then he says, how about we bring back the big dog? And Roman Reigns comes back. He's been cleared. And they make the challenge, the Shield versus the New Day. And the New Day could talk about, again, how they're family, how, they're positive, power of positivity, and, the Shield. That Shield is broken, Seth Rollins broke that 3 years ago. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they don't like each other. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, they don't like each other. Hell, even Roman and Dean Ambrose, they probably don't like each other. So the New Day could have some cocky promos. And, obviously there's still dissension within the Shield, but, they're coming together for, again, the brand Raw, and they're coming together to prove that the Shield was and still is the most dominant faction in WWE. So yeah, I'd have the same match here. Shield goes over. Now the score is 2 SmackDown, 1 for Raw. All right, the next match we have the Battle of the Women's Champions. The Raw Women's Champion Sasha Banks versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi. So yeah, I would have Sasha keep the belt, and she won it, I believe, at SummerSlam. And I know she dropped it to Alexa Bliss like the next pay-per-view, but I would not have that. I would just keep Sasha as the champion here. And also, I would keep Naomi as the champion. She lost her title to Natalya, but I would keep Naomi as the champion here. So again, I think this would be a really good match here. Obviously, they got history in Team Bad, so that would be definitely a thing there. Sasha Banks can talk about, she really appreciates Naomi for bringing her in. But now, this is her WWE now. She's the boss. And Naomi could talk about, she's really proud of what Sasha has been through. But she says that, Sasha, she was kind of gifted, NXT, while I had to work my way up. I was in the original NXT, which I believe she was, where it was like a game show. So, Naomi could talk about the struggle of that, and that, she's always fighting for validation, and that she's going to prove that, she's just as good as Sasha, and that she's more bad than Sasha. So they could talk about that as well. And yeah, you could even have Tamina, because she was on SmackDown, and say, Naomi, let me help you out. And she says, Naomi's like, no, I need to prove it to myself that, I belong. So yeah, I think this will be a good match here. Very athletic combination here. And yeah, again, give them 10 to 15 minutes. No shenanigans. I would have Sasha Banks win clean. Naomi can go for the rear view. Sasha could, dodge it and then hit the bank statement. Naomi could tap, and after the match they could shake hands. Yeah, just a fun face versus face women's match here. I think it'd be really good. All right, next up we got the women's Survivor Series tag team match. On Team Raw we got Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Mickie James, and Emma versus Team SmackDown. We got Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Tamina, Carmella, and Natalya. So yeah, pretty standard build here. Obviously, both teams have a little bit of tension. We have Bayley and Alexa Bliss, their rivalry there. Nia Jax as well. She kind of, aligned herself with Alexa Bliss. Even Mickie James and Alexa, Alexa was kind of throwing shots at Mickie James, saying she was old. She's a has-been. And the wild card is Emma here. She just returned, so yeah, I think there's a lot of good talent here. And then the SmackDown side, Charlotte and Becky. Becky was the captain here. Charlotte just recently returned, So Charlotte says, you know what, this is your team, Becky. So she's kind of like saying she doesn't want to take her shine. So obviously there's a little bit of tension there. Carmella could talk about it, how like, you two have too much big egos and that she should be the captain here. And yeah, and Tamina and Natalya can also be on the team. They had history with Charlotte as well. So, and they're all they all have family in the WWE. Tamina, Natalya, Charlotte. So yeah, they can talk about that as well. I don't know if it's called second or third generational wrestlers, but yeah. So yeah, I think this would be a really good match here. If booked right, I would have the finals be Bayley versus Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Carmella. So I would have, Bayley. Carmella could go for the briefcase. Bayley could duck, hit the belly to Bayley, slam. 1, 2, 3. So now it's 1 versus 2. Charlotte and Becky versus Bayley. So yeah, please have some fun. Back and forth here. But eventually, I would have Charlotte would run the ropes, but Becky would blind tag Charlotte. Bayley would hit the Bayley to belly slam, but obviously she's not legal, and then Becky Lynch could hit her finisher. I don't know what it was at the time. Was it? I'm not sure if she had another move aside from the arm bar, but because I don't really want Bayley to tap. But yeah, Becky could hit like a move there, her other finisher, and Team SmackDown would get the win, and then Charlotte and Becky can kind of stare at each other and shake hands. So yeah, good storytelling there, because WrestleMania 34, I did have Charlotte versus Becky for the title. And obviously that will go down later when, Charlotte will turn on Becky and we get, demands. So yeah, some slow build here towards that. And also makes Bayley makes her more sympathetic. At the time in 2017, the fans are starting to turn on her. So I think this would be nice to have, Bayley, fight the odds, but still come up short. So now the score is 3-2 for Team SmackDown. So Raw needs to win the next match. All right, the next match, champion versus champion, world champion versus world champion. We got the Universal Champion from Raw, the Beast Brock Lesnar versus the phenomenal AJ Styles, the WWE Champion on SmackDown. So yeah, I'll definitely keep the build the same here. Again, if you went over my SummerSlam 2017 booking, I don't have Jinder as champion. I have AJ Styles as champion. So yeah, so they don't really have to rush the build here. It could be, Brock versus AJ dream match. Paul Heyman hyping up the match as usual, saying, AJ's a great talent, but this is the wrong year to be WWE champion when Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion. He's the most dominant champion, not on Raw, but in the WWE. And then AJ Styles could talk about, his struggle to finally get to WWE now that he's here, and now he wants to prove that he's the best, not just on SmackDown, but again, he runs the place. He's phenomenal. Doesn't matter who he goes up against. And yeah, you could even have one show where, Brock and Heyman are in the ring and AJ could like pretend to be like a cameraman or something and attack Brock and Paul Heyman. And then you could even have, Brock, attacking AJ in the parking lot or something. Some different ways to invade each other's shows here to really build the feud. And yeah, I think this would be it was a great match, so keep everything the same. The finish was phenomenal, no pun intended, when AJ went from the phenomenal forearm, I believe. Brock caught him. He kind of stumbled a bit, but it just looked even more better, and then hit the F5. 1, 2, 3. Brock wins. And yeah, he ties the score. It is now 3-3, and now we're on to match 7. All right, now we're in our main event of the evening. Team Raw, Kurt Angle, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Bray Wyatt versus Team SmackDown, Shane McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. So yeah, obviously, Stephanie puts a lot of pressure on Kurt. She makes Kurt the captain there, so and then Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, obviously they got history from NXT. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, they got history from the Wyatt family. So, Kurt has a lot to deal with here. He's trying to get everyone on the same page. So that could be some fun TV storytelling there. Now, Team SmackDown, Shane, he brings back John Cena. He says we need him. Randy he's a little bit like confusing. What, we don't need John Cena. You got Randy Orton. And then, Randy can talk about his history with Cena. And then, yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they win their qualifying matches because Shane says he's going to make it fair. They both win. And now Kevin Owens and Sami are on with Team Shane here. So, yeah, I think obviously Sami and Kevin are heels here. Their history at the Hell in a Cell where Sami cost Shane the match. So that's definitely some problems there. And then, Shane doesn't know if Sami and Kevin, if he can trust them. So that's also a thing there. And yeah, Kurt Angle, he's being pressured here by Steph saying if you lose, you're going to get fired. This is Team Raw. So yeah, you got a lot of things going on here. I would definitely, book this a little bit better. I feel like the match was kind of rushed in real life. I'll get to that when, I talk about, concluding everything at the end here. But I would have the finals be like Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, and let's say Samoa Joe versus John Cena. So I wouldn't have Shane McMahon be the finals because, I think John Cena, he can play this role a bit better. And I would have Kevin Owens and Sami. Yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn get Shane eliminated. Shane could go for the elbow drop. Kevin and Sami, they're already eliminated. They're on ringside, and they pull off whoever off the announce tables, and then Shane gets counted out. So that leads to John Cena against, in a 3-on-1 here. And then, yeah, I would have Cena eliminate Samoa Joe, so that, again, that kind of builds their feud that I booked at WrestleMania 34. Samoa Joe could go for the his choke submission. Cena could do the Bret Hart Roddy Piper, so that's how he gets where he puts his foot on the rope and turns it into a cover. So Joe's eliminated there. Now it's Cena against Angle and Strowman, and Strowman can get counted out. He can crash into the barricade. So now it's 1-on-1, Cena and Angle. Obviously rivals back in the day. So yeah, they can go at it. Kurt can have the ankle lock, but Cena could reverse it to STF. Before he's about to tap, Triple H comes up, pulls the ref, hits John Cena with a pedigree, brings the ref back in. Kurt's kind of confused, but he goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Team Raw wins, so Kurt still the Raw general manager. And then Triple H could shake his hand and hit Kurt with the pedigree. And yeah, again, the explanation will be that, Stephanie called Triple H to get the job done. And even though he helped Kurt Angle, he hates Kurt Angle and that he wish he never came back. And then that could build the feud towards Angle and Ronda versus Triple H and Steph at WrestleMania. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think I made the card a little bit better here. First off, by, again, getting more talent on the card in the opener and really giving Bobby Roode his time to shine there. I know I took away the Usos versus the Bar, which was a good match, but they're also part of this match, so I think the match would be just as good, gets more people on the card, and Bobby Roode is really, seen as looking strong. And then same for Nakamura and The Miz. Nakamura, he didn't really look that strong in the main event, but him going 1-on-1 against The Miz, I think it would be great for Nakamura, even great for The Miz, because, he has a lot of heel heat, so he could get Nakamura even more over and ready for the WrestleMania season. And yeah, they kind of had a nice foreshadowing at the draft when Nakamura got drafted to SmackDown, interrupting The Miz. So I think that's cool. The Shield versus the New Day, keep everything the same, but this time I'd have the Shield this time be promoted as the first time they're teaming up in 3 years. So it makes the match even feel a bit better, feel a bit bigger. And for the women's match, I know Alexa versus Charlotte, that was a definitely intriguing match with, we got the bigger Charlotte against the smaller, arrogant Alexa. But I think Sasha and Naomi would probably be a bit better match. We got, a little bit more athleticism there. And also, it keeps both the champions strong. I felt like, especially on Raw, they were really screwing Sasha Banks every time she won a belt. Her next defense, she would lose it. So at least it keeps Sasha a bit strong here. And I would going into WrestleMania, and I think I booked her feuding with Bayley around that time too. So it makes sense, adds to Sasha's ego that, she won here. And in the next match, Bayley did lose, but Bayley did put up a fight there. I didn't really understand why Alicia Fox was there as a captain. I didn't really understand that, so definitely changed that. And also, you guys might ask, how come I didn't have Asuka on the card? But I would have Asuka maybe debut at the Rumble. I think, this was just a weird time to debut her. I would have had her debut at the Rumble. So, yeah. And then on the SmackDown side, obviously I'm adding Charlotte to the team, so it makes the team a bit better there. And obviously her and Becky have a lot of history as well. They could talk about Brock versus AJ. Keep it the same. Only thing is AJ has been champion for a bit longer here. It's not like he just won it on SmackDown against Jinder. So I think that match will have a bit even better build there. And in the main event, I thought it was good, but again, the young talent didn't really shine there. So, I would keep more of the established main eventers on there. Bray Wyatt in there instead of Triple H. And I'd have Triple H, do his part at the end, as it's more of a surprise. Because when he did it in the real life, it was kind of weird because they're on the same team. We didn't know if Triple H was turning on Team Raw, but then he eventually still pedigreed Shane after. So that was a bit confusing. And I'll put John Cena in the role of Shane, where he's trying to fight back because, John Cena can probably do it a bit better than Shane. Shane at the time, he was slowly kind of losing his luster. So I feel like the fans didn't really like him being in the finals there. So yeah, guys, I really think I did a few tweaks, but I did make the card better. Let me know what you guys think about the card, and I'll run down the card for you all right now. All right. Team Raw, Matt Hardy, The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, Apollo Crews and Elias versus Team SmackDown, Bobby Roode, Jimmy and Jay, The Usos, Baron Corbin, and Ty Dillinger. Champion versus champion. From Team Raw, the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, versus from Team SmackDown, the United States Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Another champion versus champion match from Team Raw, The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. And another champion versus champion match. For the women's champions, we have Team Raw, the Raw Women's Champion, Sasha Banks, versus Team SmackDown, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. Then we got the Raw Women's Elimination Tag Team match from Team Raw, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Mickie James, and Emma, versus Team SmackDown, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Tamina, Carmella, and Natalya. And the finals, champion versus champion match from Raw, the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus the WWE Champion AJ Styles from SmackDown. And the main event, Team Raw, Kurt Angle, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Bray Wyatt versus Team SmackDown, Shane McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Once again, let me know what you guys think about the tweaks that I made. And I still got a few more Survivor Series that I want to finish. And yeah, we're going to get into Royal Rumble season. And I'm definitely going to be more consistent, coming into the new year. Once again, appreciate the support. Catch you on the next one. Peace.